Hey, sports porchers! It's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with Game 17 analysis of the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Dallas Stars. Well, let's just get right to it. Tonight was an absolute shit show from the very beginning. Yours truly, the hockey Jesus, was at the game, and I'm starting to think I'm a little bit of a jinx on the Pittsburgh Penguins because the two games that I've been to this year, the Pittsburgh Penguins have been outscored. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? 10 to 0 in the first period. 10 to 0 in the first period, the two games I've seen. So I have yet to really see a real Pittsburgh Penguins game yet this year. I finally did get to see my first goal thanks to Blake. No, I think it was Bolivier got a nice pass from Lazat and or Puustinen scored a goal. Look, these Pittsburgh Penguins, we've been through this a little bit already. We've seen it in the New York Rangers game. We've seen it in the Edmonton Oilers game. We saw it in the Carolina game, and it just hurts so bad when the Pittsburgh Penguins come home. I actually thought we were going to see Jari tonight, and for a second there, I thought we did see Jari. And honestly, I'm glad that Tristan Jari was not in the goal because I will tell you what, there was blood in the water tonight at PPG Paints Arena. I saw for the first time since my Civic Arena days two grown men who wanted to fight each other about how bad the Pittsburgh Penguins are. One guy was trying to stick up for the Penguins. The other guy was basically saying, there is absolutely nothing you can say about it. And I just had to tell both of these idiots to shut up. It was in the middle of the first period when that was going on. It was wild. It was a wild scene at PPG. I've got some video footage I'm going to put up later. I'm actually probably going to put a video together about it, how the stands look completely empty. I'm going to do that later. I don't want to talk about that now. Just a little teaser for a little segment I might have later this weekend. But the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight played against a formidable opponent in the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars were in the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years, people. They are an excellent team. Jake Ottinger is a world class goalie, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are none of that. Okay? Let's just be honest with ourselves of what the Pittsburgh Penguins are. They can play at times good games, and they played well against the Capitals, but the Capitals are a marginal playoff team. Marginal. This is a world class team and a Stanley Cup contender, and we have proven throughout this season that we cannot play with them. So let's just be honest with ourselves about what the Pittsburgh Penguins are. It's just hard to watch. It's just very hard to watch if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. What is wrong with the Pittsburgh Penguins fan? Brad, one of my loyal disciples, asked me this. This one's for you, Brad. Here's what's wrong with the Pittsburgh Penguins: defense and structure. And what do I mean by that? They do not have any structure to their defense, which means any defenseman can jump into the zone at any time and go chase the puck. And that means that at any time you can have a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1, a 1-on-0, a 2-on-0 at any point, at any given time. And that's okay in this system. And that's a fault of Sully's. Sully's not going anywhere, and I'm not calling for his head because I personally don't think this team gets any better with Sully. And frankly, maybe it's better that they just get worse and we just get a lottery pick. That might be the best thing that could happen to the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. It might be actually the best thing that could happen. And I'll tell you, after watching them tonight, one, I was very disheartened because, when you pay good money for a seat, you want to see a good game. Two, I wasn't that surprised, but when you're there and you think every shot's going to go in against your goalie, it's terrible. Three, like I said, let me get back to Tristan Jari. And here's why I'm glad he was not in tonight, because if he would have given up the first goal the way Bloomquist gave up that goal, he would have been booed out of there, and it wouldn't have even really been his fault. It was a bad goal to give up for Bloomquist, but look how many 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s one or two on nuns. He had to stop. No goalie can do that. At one point, they had 6 shots and they scored 3 goals. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You got to have more structure to your game where you got to have a defenseman in front of these guys as they're shooting it. You can't let that many quality opportunities get shot at your goalie. It's just not going to work if you want to win games. And that's where the structure comes into play. If they played a little less open and a little bit of, I'm not going to pinch that defenseman, these guys are going to have to get it, that would be a good thing. The other thing is this team doesn't have a lot of top end talent. I know they still got Sidney Crosby and Gino, and honestly, the only time that the Penguins look like they had some semblance of an NHL team was when Sid and Gino played together for a little bit in the first period to kind of just be like, we got to stop this tidal wave from happening because every shot's going in. And when it was 5-0, I for the first time saw like people literally leave their seats. Some of them came back in the second period, but a few of them didn't. They just left. And honestly, I can't do that. As a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, I'm going there to cheer the team no matter what. In the second period, towards the end of the first period, you saw Sid get a little scrappy. You saw Achari kind of make a run at Smith, but he didn't really do anything. Smith got that penalty on a terrible boarding call against, I believe that was Puljujärvi. He knocked down, who's a big boy, by the way. But what are you going to do? I mean, this is who the Pittsburgh Penguins are. If you want to watch them all season, be prepared to be mystified and also to be pleasantly surprised occasionally. So tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins take a step backwards in their quest to try and become a playoff team. This might be a permanent one backwards, I'll be honest, but we'll just have to. We'll see what happens Wednesday night. They're playing against Detroit at home. It's a good game to get a rebound win against a team like Detroit. Detroit's kind of like where the Pittsburgh Penguins want to be. Detroit probably has a little bit better talent. Their goaltending, I don't think, is as good. So it's a more evenly matched game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Detroit's supposedly on the way back up while Pittsburgh's on the way back down, but I think they meet somewhere in the middle on Wednesday night. Tonight you just gotta take the game and you just gotta crumble up and throw it away. You gotta forget about it. I know it's impossible to do. We won't forget about it here on the porch. I hope I at least brought you a little bit of insight about what's going on with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're not in free fall, but they're definitely not looking like a playoff team. So, stop back tomorrow. Don't start back tomorrow night because I won't be here. But Wednesday night, when the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Detroit Red Wings, I will be back, and I will see you then. Let's go, Pens.